But I think the biggest problem is, and one where I have absolutely no idea how to get out of it, is that capitalism doesn't work anymore. It becomes very obvious that it cannot feed people. It's totally clear that the division of the society into super rich and very, very poor continues and gets sharper. I think that all the big problems that come out of this and can't be solved anymore, because the money monopoly situation now rules everything. Well, I think we need quite a very much change, not little change. That is, I think, one of the problems. And the states don't have the power anymore to do it. Europe, I don't know. We are in a kind of big problem. Climate change, even when 100 million people in the cities at the sea die in one big wave, capitalism will find a way to make money out of it. That's what happened in Florida after the hurricane. The catastrophe could be used to make conditions for the poor even harder. That was the New Orleans condition, actually. New Orleans was gentrified after the catastrophe. So I think we need to get back to forms of democratic control of our surroundings and our societies and our economy. I think that the democratic forces have not enough vision at all. They forgot the social issues. That's why they are losing everywhere. I think we have to reinvent, on the one hand, with all the power that was developed by the subcultures. The experiences that we made in St. Pauli was for a long time that we managed to find a connection between people who are not politically organized at all and the classical, let's say, the autonomous left, but by leaving out the big ideologic question and going straight for the questions that very many people share these days. So in the cities, it's that space becomes unaffordable and becomes so expensive that for people it's not so easy to think further than their little island. The street where Planbude is located is Reeperbahn, which has the highest rents in Hamburg per square meters for shops. So the shop quality goes down and down and down, and at the moment nearly all the spaces, or many spaces, 8, 9, 10 on a short street are empty. Because people owning them hope that they find someone who's ready to pay 80 euros per square meter per month. So this is the price, and when someone goes in, they cannot think about anything else but how they get the money for this. And the pressure is so high that they cannot think about what happens, let's say, in front of their house or in their neighborhood anymore. And I think that's one of the things why which also is another example for which kind of splits go through society, because now you cannot even negotiate like in the old bourgeois society, where the shop owner who is a bit richer can still negotiate with the poor shop owner who is down the street, and but now it goes totally apart, and it's feeding a kind of egoism, which I thought, which is very destructive. The first Fab Lab in Hamburg, which was the second Fab Lab in Germany, came out of the right to the city struggles in Hamburg, and it did not come out of some nerdy tech culture thing, but it developed out of one of the struggles from 2008, when the fight against gentrification started. So you have the possibility that everybody can produce, that production and invention come closer together again, but on a very high level. Collective ways of working become much more flexible. I think there are trillions of ways of working collectively which will become possible now, which haven't been possible in the past in the same way. Usually I'm not a big fan of activist artists because for me it's kind of promoting an opposition of activist versus vita activa, vita contemplativa. And I so very much believe also in contemplation. And I think that this is actually one of the most important points, that you have to reinvent how to contemplate and how to look and how to perceive and how to read cities, social constellations and so on. And this act of perception and is already the first step to become active maybe. This is why I was so very interested in the work of Rex and Sarai Media Lab and Cyber Muhalla, because they put so much emphasis on reception and reading and decoding the city. In a way, what we do is a form of collective research. Don't do it alone. Bring the tools that others can do it themselves, and brings in different types of knowledge. That should be at the core. I don't believe in this separation of research and active. So you research for an end and you make it clear for which end you go. For the art thing, it's super important to have a big space for the imaginary. But you also have to train to dream, you know, and that's what artists traditionally do, and we have to go because we don't have much time, but